Hi, I'm Clyde, and welcome to Basic Works. And today we're going to look at window screen replacement, because you might have a situation like this. You're not just going to put a patch or something on that.
Busted!
Also, if you want to see a video on removing and installing your window screens, here's a link to it. Let's do it. The nickel and the penny both fit in there, sitting perfectly straight up. And you can see they're both touching the bottom of the channel. But a nickel and a quarter, if you hold the nickel up straight, the quarter won't fit in there. If the penny and the nickel fit, and the quarter and the nickel don't fit, this spline groove is the 140 thousandths, which is 0.140. And that's the size spline that I'll use. You would think to yourself, well, that's the same thickness, it's not going to hold anything in. So the screen itself is 15 thousandths. You're going to have screen on this side of the groove and this side of the groove. So you're going to have two layers of screen. You're adding 30 thousandths of screen material. The first step in this replacement is to get the old screen out. So all I'm going to do is take a small flat blade screwdriver, and I'm just going to put this under the spline here. And you can see it lifts right up. I'm going to just lift that spline up like this. And you can see the old spline gets bent from being used. It's a little bit dry, brittle. We'll be replacing that. I took some soap and water and paper towels and went along and cleaned out this spline channel really well. You want to shoot to have about an inch of overhang on each side. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to end up cutting this off anyway. Get a rough measurement on our spline and just let myself like an inch or two there. That's fine. Put your screen so that the webbing of the screen is relatively straight with the edge of your frame. Because what you don't want to do is have your screen sitting in there looking like it's crooked, because you can see the grid in the screen. On your spline tool, you're going to have one side that's concave, and that's made that way so that the spline will go into it to some degree to push the spline into here. Now, if you had aluminum screen, you could use the other end, which is the convex side, and go along and form to your channel. But with fiberglass, we don't need to do that. We're just going to use the concave side to push it in. Start at one corner here and just press the spline in to get it started. And we're going to go along with the tool and push that into the channel. Make this bend around the corner, pushing the spline in. It's tight because we left it pull itself, and it's not too tight that it will try to bow the frame. There's some flexibility still the whole way along. Then I'm going to go to these corners with a flat blade screwdriver and just press a little bit. Make sure it's pressed into the corner good. Take a razor blade tool and just cut this spline off where it will be flush with the other piece. We're going to take a utility knife and we're going to trim off this excess 1 inch of screen that we left. You're going to take the razor blade knife and go on the outside of the spline with your razor blade on about a 45, resting on the top of the spline and cutting along this side of the frame. you should be able to go along that and see it's all flat. There's no wrinkles. Then that's a done deal.